Hi, it's Kevin with Real Live and welcome to my channel. We upload videos like this every week. We're a top producing real estate team here in the Los Angeles area. So if you're thinking about moving to Los Angeles, please feel free to reach out to me and my team. We would love to help you. So first on my list is going to be oak trees. Living here in Los Angeles, we have beautiful, mature oak trees here in the area. And one of the things that you don't want to do is cut these trees down. Some of them have been here for hundreds of years, and it's taken a very long time for them to get to this point. And most cities, if not all cities here in Los Angeles, have an ordinance where you can't cut oak trees down unless they're sick or they need maintenance. And if you do cut them down and the city finds out, be careful because there are strict and heavy fines that cities impose when you do cut down an oak tree. And even some cities will have restrictions on how you trim these oak trees because they are very protected and sacred to Los Angeles. So the second thing on my list of things you don't want to do here if you live in LA is don't waste water. Recently, California has been in a huge drought. A lot of cities have actually imposed restrictions on the usage of water. Some cities have limited your use of watering on specific days for your gardening, as well as if you exceed a specific limit, you get imposed a higher fee on your water usage. So you want to be very mindful of this. Check with your cities as to what the restrictions are to water usage, so then you don't incur heavy fines for your water consumption. So number 3 on my list is going to be parking. And when I mean parking, make sure you don't just park anywhere here in Los Angeles. You gotta read the signs that are on the streets. And some of them have a lot of restrictions, and you want to make sure you read all of these restrictions before you park, because there are parking Nazis that are out here in Los Angeles looking for people who are specifically not obeying the parking signs. There are days where street sweeping occurs. There are situations where you need a specific permit to park in certain areas, or areas where you need to actually pay for parking on the street. So my key tip for you is, if you're coming here to LA, make sure you know where and when you can park on the streets, because the parking tickets here are not cheap. Coming at number 4 on the list is the public transportation and taxis. So if you're planning to move here, make sure you get transportation, because LA is a very wide and spread out area. And if you're relying on trying to hail a taxi to get you from one place to another, it's going to be very difficult, because there are very large areas where taxis or public transportation just doesn't get to. That is one of the big reasons why you are going to need a car if you're planning to move here to LA. Other options could be Uber or rideshare programs, but then at the same time, it's going to be very costly and it's not going to be the most efficient use of time. So if you are coming here to LA and planning on making your move here, make sure you understand that the public transportation may not get you from point A to point B. Taxis are very difficult to find, like other big cities, so make sure you plan accordingly when it comes to transportation. Coming in at number 5 is the California roll. If you don't know what this is, it's a popular term that we have here when we come through a stop sign and we gently make a roll through it rather than making a complete stop. Especially here in Los Angeles, cops are a stickler for this. So make sure if you're going through residential neighborhoods, there's a lot of police officers just sitting and waiting for this infraction to happen with motor vehicles. So make sure you pay attention at every stop sign. You make a complete stop, look left, look right, look left again, and then you complete and move forward. Because I can't tell you how many times I see somebody get pulled over, or I know about a friend or somebody that says they just got pulled over because they didn't make a complete stop. So if you want to avoid that ticket, make sure you make that complete stop. And coming last on my list of top 6 things you don't want to do if you're planning to move here to LA is building an ADU thinking you're going to be able to rent it or maybe Airbnb it. Now, there is a California legislation that did allow for property owners to build an ADU, or what we know as a accessory dwelling unit. Now, the misconception is a lot of people think, well, I can build this unit and then offset my housing costs by renting it out or maybe potentially Airbnb-ing the property. You want to make sure before you start building to look at what city codes will allow for that unit. Every city is going to be a little bit different. Some are going to allow you to Airbnb, some will allow you to rent out the property, but some may have specific restrictions where you cannot rent it out for Airbnb, or you can rent out the property if you live in the front unit. So all of the cities are going to have different jurisdictions in regards to what you can do with the ADU when it comes to renting. So make sure you check with the city before you build, because what I don't want to see happen is you build this ADU and you can't rent it and the city finds out and they stop you from renting. Then at that point, if your intention was to build and rent and you can no longer do it, you end up with a ADU that you can no longer rent, which at the end of the day, you're spending a lot of money with this investment. So I just want you to be very clear and very sure as to what the local city will require and allow when it comes to building an ADU and renting it out. Well, there it is. My top 6 things of what you should not do if you plan to move or if you live here in Los Angeles. I hope you found this video helpful. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe to our channel so you can get updated on all of our new videos when we release them. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave a comment below.